Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today, again, another tier list, but a little bit something different. Today we are doing a tier list of the professional League of Legends leagues headed into the 2021 season. I believe we have like 11 leagues here. These were the 11 leagues that all had a spot at the 2020 World Championships. Actually, Vietnam didn't because of, I believe, Corona complications or whatever. They weren't able to actually go to China for Worlds. But the OPL is now not a league anymore, so I put in Vietnam and I took out the OPL, which is the Oceanic League. For those of you that don't know, because Australia is now considered part of NA because that league dissolved. So just clearing that thing up, we have the 11 teams, in quotes, that were represented at Worlds last season. We're going to be ranking them from top to bottom, S tier to F tier, on what I think is going to be happening in the upcoming season. Obviously, we're getting very, very close. I believe the LPL even starts like this weekend or something. So Professional League of Legends right around the corner. That is absolutely awesome. That's super, super exciting. But I'm going to be giving all my thoughts and opinions on how I think the different rankings for all the teams are going to shape out, or all the different leagues are going to shape out this year. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Whenever I try something different, I never really know exactly how it's going to go. But again, you guys dropping a like on this video, I would appreciate it a ton. Helps me out, helps my video get seen by more people, helps me out the algorithm, but also just shows me you guys enjoy what's going on here. You guys enjoy me trying out some different stuff, experimenting with different types of videos, because we're going to be doing that all season long. Also subscribing helps you guys stay up to date on all my latest content. And again, another thing that I would just appreciate a ton. It would make my day. It'd be great. We're trying to hit 6K subs soon. With that being said, here we go, getting right into this. Some of the leagues I might like forget their name or something, but I think I know the countries and everything for the most part. Let's start off at the bottom. Out of these 11 teams, or out of these 11 leagues, who I think is the worst headed into the new season, I think it is CB LOL. This is a Brazilian league, and in the past, the CB LOL has had some teams that have actually been kind of exciting at Worlds. They've had some teams make some surprise runs, have some surprise upsets, and be kind of interesting, exciting, and fun to watch. They've had some big name players, and it has been, overall, they've been kind of a joy to have at Worlds. But recently, the results haven't been the best, and headed into 2021, I think this is kind of a league that is more on the decline than the incline. So my expectations are kind of under control for this league. Again, I nothing against this league, nothing against Brazilian people or Brazilian League of Legends or anything. I know they're very, very passionate. I know that they have a huge fan base. I know that they really enjoy this stuff, but I just don't really see them as one of the emerging regions at this point anymore. To me, they're kind of not as interesting as maybe they once used to be. Next up in the C tier, I have the LJL. This is the Japanese league. This is a league that is up and coming, rising in popularity fast, I guess League of Legends over in Japan is. And we know the Eastern regions, when they get serious about an esport, when they get serious about a game, they can improve very, very quickly. So even though maybe they haven't been the best in the past, the results haven't been great, I could see this region as a whole and this league taking kind of a big step up in 2021. But still, I need them to prove it to me. I need to see that first, so I don't want to rate them too high or anything. But I just have a hunch that we could see them taking a big step. I think the LJL could be a league to maybe watch out for at something like Worlds this year, maybe in the plans, maybe pulling off some upsets, maybe having some big games, and maybe even starting to develop like a star player or two for the future that maybe starts moving around the world and stuff, and maybe gets picked up by another region. I would not be shocked at all. I think they'll be interesting to watch. They haven't been the worst in the past, but they have not been the best by any means. But I think they could be interesting headed into the new year. Another league is the Latin American League. Obviously, we know they had some big name guys the last couple of years. Obviously, Jose Diodo. We saw him on the world stage last year. He was so exciting, so fun to watch. Some insane pop-off performances. He's coming over to North America now. That's the one thing that sucks about like the Latin American League. As soon as they have like players do well or whatever, they kind of get snatched up by a big region. Usually, now it seems like more and more likely to be snatched up by North America. But they have been pretty good. They've been developing some talent. They have been performing on the world stage. Again, some interesting big names, but it is tough for them to reach much higher than this, but I do like what they're doing. I think they are pretty fun to watch, and I do appreciate the Latin American League and the players for sure. I know a lot of the guys play on North America, so we actually know a lot of the Latin American players pretty closely. We get to follow them in solo queue, and people talking about them, which is rumored and stuff all the time. So that is fun as well. Also down in the C tier, I have the Vietnamese League. The Vietnam, again, historically, they are one of the better regions, one of the better kind of leagues. They usually have pretty good international performances, but things have kind of been trending down. Things have not been as good for the VCS as of late. And again, we didn't get to see them at the last Worlds, so we don't really know how they would have done. But if my memory serves me correct, they have not had the best kind of records at Worlds. People are kind of, I can't remember if they got World slots taken away or if they were just considering taking some World slots away from this league. Again, they were once powerhouses, once kind of feared, knowing this team would always pull off big upsets and stuff, but that really has not been the case so much as of late. And then finally, my last league in the C tier is going to be the TCL, the Turkish league. This is a league who's been very, very competitive, very, very good, and very, very fun to watch. Some big name players coming out of this league. Obviously, guys like Broken Blade, guys like Closer coming over to NA, doing some big things. Broken Blade obviously going to be headed back to Europe now. He's going to see how he'll be able to do. But the TCL does very, very well developing young talent. They do pretty well internationally as well. They're one of the better emerging regions for sure. And again, I appreciate the things that they're doing. They seem to have a very good structure, system, ecosystem, everything in place that allows players to kind of grow up and be ready to kind of move on to some of the other leagues, and that is great stuff. But now, headed into the B tier, I have the CIS. This is the Russian league. This we just most recently saw as Unicorns of Love at the most recent League of Legends Worlds, which they were very, very fun to watch. They were a very, very solid team, and it seems like there is some good stuff going on in the CIS. They can develop players, they can develop talent, they can develop teams who can go to Worlds and actually compete both in the play-ins, but also at the main stage of the World Championship too. They are a threat to potentially start winning some games. And again, headed into 2021, if this league, if the teams, if the region as a whole can continue to develop, they can get better and better and maybe turn into a legitimate threat. They're kind of, on that horizon. They're a lower tier B. They're a lower B tier for me, but they're still in that B tier. I think they are a little bit of a class up from those teams in the C tier. Next up, we have the PCS. I think they are a very, very solid league. Obviously, a ton of talent over there, and just a ton of excitement, a ton of fun to watch. A very, very dangerous region, a very dangerous league that you always have to watch out for. And then finally, in the B tier, my last team is going to be the LCS, kind of the lowest ranked or lowest considered major region. Obviously, the laughingstock of a lot of jokes, obviously with TSM going 0-6 last year, but we did have two teams go 3-3 in FlyQuest and Team Liquid as well. So that was at least good that we were able to keep some dignity. I mean, we had a Team Liquid get out of the play-ins as well, where LGD over in China struggled in the play-ins, almost didn't make it out. And then obviously Europe had a team in Mad Lions not make it out as well. So I do think people overrate how bad North America is. Yes, they have been very, very disappointing the last couple of years, but they are still good enough to be considered a major region in my opinion. Obviously some North American bias and stuff, but they haven't failed to make it out of play-ins. Even though TSM went 0-6, they had two teams go 3-3. They had two teams almost make it out. And yes, they've had some embarrassing moments. They've come up short in a lot of clutch games and stuff like that. But still a good region, still a ton of talent, and I think they are capable of doing better. I know we keep saying that every single year. This is going to be our year, and it never is, but we'll see how that goes. Next up in the A tier, I have the LEC. Now, I know a lot of people might think this is an S tier region. I know a lot of people for a while were saying that the gap is closing, and that this region is ready to kind of take that next step to start competing with the big dogs, but honestly, they're getting hard carried by G2. I think they really need some other teams to start rising up to really be able to push into that S tier contention. Because if I remember correctly, Mad Lions didn't make it out of play-ins. Rogue went 1-5. Fnatic went 4-2. But I don't think they had the hardest group in the world. I know they had TSM, which was pretty much free wins. And I can't remember the other team, but I don't think it was the craziest group in the world. And yes, Fnatic did then push Top to 5 games, which was great. But again, they still ended up losing to Top, who wasn't really even playing that well by the time Worlds came around. Yes, G2 is great, and they made it to finals a couple years ago, and then made it to semifinals this year. But Europe is very, very live or die by G2. G2 is an S tier team. That does not make the LEC an S tier league. It's great that Fnatic is consistently able to have pretty good results as well, but they only made it to quarterfinals last year. NA's had teams make it to quarterfinals before. And yes, G2 did good, but they only made it to semis. It's not like they were world champs or anything like that. The LEC could be better this year. We'll see, but they're coming off not really their best year, not really their most impressive showing, especially internationally. So they're A tier for me. Then the two big dogs we have in the S tier, obviously the LCK. This has been the historic League of Legends powerhouse. So many insane Korean teams, so many insane Korean players. The most popular, the biggest brands, biggest names all around the world. You know, they got Faker, they got T1, Damwon Gaming coming off an absolutely insane run. But right now, I do believe that the kings of League of Legends are the LPL. They had 2 of the 4 teams in the semifinals, with obviously being Suning and Top Esports. And yes, they did not win the title, but that was Damwon. Damwon was an absolutely insane team. But again, just like with Europe, I think LCK was super hard carried by Damwon last year. That does not mean that the LCK didn't have other good teams. They definitely did. But I think the LPL was a much deeper league, a much more talented league top to bottom. Maybe that's because they're stealing a lot of Korean players as well, a lot of those top talents. But still, I think the LPL is pretty stacked. And headed into 2021, the LCK has a chance to catch up some ground. There are some really good teams in the LCK. T1 could take a big step up this year. Damwon's going to be great again. But the LPL is absolutely loaded with talent top to bottom again as well. They have a crazy play style. They're so exciting, so fun to watch. Part of it always comes down to meta a little bit, and depending on how things are shifting and changing around and all that. But LPL is always going to be a very fun region to watch. They're always going to be a very good region. And as of late, they have been, in my opinion, the best league in the world. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What would you change, or what does your tier list look like? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on anything we talked about in today's video. Again, I know I already said this, but dropping a like does help me out with the YouTube algorithm so much, and I would appreciate it a ton. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. We're trying to aim for 6,000 subscribers as fast as we can get it. Again, League of Legends games, professional games, are starting very soon. So all this stuff's right around the corner. I'm going to have a ton of awesome videos and content coming your guys' way. So I hope I catch you in those. But until then, peace!